Smith Show starts right now.
Here with you over the airways of ESPN Radio and ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America. Check your AM, FM listing nearest you. Plus ESPN Radio and Sirius XM Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Protecting your small business is a big deal. Cover what you've worked so hard for. Visit ProgressiveCommercial.com. Any minute now, we'll be having NFL reporter extraordinaire for ESPN, the one and only Sal Paolantonio. He'll be on with us any minute now. We're waiting for him to get on the line with us to talk about Thursday night's encounter tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles visit Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, to go up against the Green Bay Packers. Looking forward to that. Carson Wentz versus Aaron Rodgers. What else is there to talk about? Doesn't get much better than that, unless, of course, you take into account what we're seeing from the Packers defense. Number 2 ranked defense in the NFL in points allowed, 13th in yards allowed, number 5 against the pass, 25th against the run. That's a vulnerability against most, not necessarily the Philadelphia Eagles, because they don't run the football that much, because they don't have any star caliber running backs. And as a result, they've been hampered, a bit limited to some degree. Make no mistake about that. But when you look at the Green Bay Packers defense right now, you've got Blake Martinez as their leading tackler. Kevin King is not far behind. You got Preston Smith that's got 4.5 sacks. Zadarius Smith, who they acquired in the offseason, he's got 3 sacks on the season. 12 sacks overall on the season so far, one of the tops in the National Football League. So you got to pay attention to all of that right now. They can get to the quarterback. They've shown an ability to get to the quarterback for this particular moment in time. Can't ignore that. Can't ignore that from the Green Bay Packers at all. So we got to keep our if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan, you got to keep your fingers crossed. Your season's on the line. I don't give a damn what anybody say. When we look at the Philadelphia Eagles right now, as things presently stand, there is no getting around the fact that if the Eagles lose tonight, and the Dallas Cowboys go into New Orleans and beat Teddy Bridgewater and the New Orleans Saints, chances are the Eagles have little to no chance to capture the NFC East crown, which means there'll be a wild card spot potentially competing with the likes of Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay, New Orleans or Atlanta, LA or Seattle. You're talking about an additional 4 teams you're going to be competing for that wild card spot. That's what you're talking about here. There's no way around it. We can slice it any way we want to. That's what it comes down to. This is an absolute must game for the Philadelphia Eagles. Period. It's a must win. They don't get today's game, tonight's game. That's what it is. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. Before Sal Paolantonio, once he's on the line with us, I will make sure to put him right on the line. But until we get him on the line, I'm going to go back to the calls for you. Let's go to Eric. You're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Hey, Stephen A., how's it going, man? I agree with you completely. The Eagles have a must-win game here if they wanted to win the division. But I got to say, I think it's already out of hand. The Cowboys are looking good this year. To me, they seem like a division champ waiting
Stop right
to
there.
happen.
Stop right there. I understand the Cowboys are looking good. Who do they beat this season?
They beat Tampa, Washington, and New York.
Okay. And you were saying?
Well, the fact that they
First of all, they opened the season. First of all, they opened the season against the Giants. Then, who was game number 2 against?
Game number 2 was against Miami.
That's right.
Giants and then Miami.
The Giants and then Miami. And so all I'm saying to you is this. Look at their schedule. Are we sure that you're ready to bloviate about the Cowboys the way that you're doing right now? Are we sure about that?
Well, I mean, I hear you talking about how they're an accident waiting to happen, but honestly, that Steelers franchise to me,
oh, that's awful.
I mean, it's on Killer Bees and on their record.
Oh, wait a minute. You haven't heard me raving about. I said I'm a fan. You haven't heard me raving about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know how they look.
No.
I know how awful they've been. And oh, by the way, the Dallas Cowboys did not beat Tampa. They opened the season, they beat the Giants, then they beat the Redskins,
Washington,
then they beat the Dolphins. Excuse me,
right.
This is the first real team they've gone against, some would argue, because they went against the Giants and Eli. They went against the Redskins and Case Keenum. And don't get me started with Miami. This is their first real test of this season. You understand that, right?
Oh, yeah. Miami does not look like a good team. But, hey, I mean, the Steelers are having a little bit more trouble than the Cowboys. They're looking like an accident waiting to happen. First of all, running back walks out on the organization.
First of all, I'm going to hang up on you. If you don't shut up, I'm going to hang up on you. It's my show. It's not your show. Okay? And I keep telling you, the Steelers are done. They're awful. Antonio Brown's gone. Le'Veon Bell's gone. Big Ben Roethlisberger. The 3 Bs. The killer bees. They're all gone for the season. And in 2 cases, forever. It's over. So there's no reason to bring up the Steelers. None whatsoever, because I ain't saying anything about them. Because I know right now they don't look good. Have a nice day. Jordan, you're live with Stephen A. Go ahead. Jordan, are you there?
Hey, how you doing, Stephen A?
I'm all right. Go ahead, man.
All right. Just wanted to say I love you, man. And I just think that you're putting a lot of disrespect on the 49ers right now. Not saying that they're...
You mean porn star Jimmy? I'm not giving porn star Jimmy enough respect?
Yeah, you're not. You keep bringing up, this is a must-win game for the Eagles. I get it. But the 49ers are 3-0, man. Like, got to give them a lot of respect.
Hey, listen. What you gonna do? What you gonna call up next and tell me I need to give the Buffalo Bills respect too? They're 3-0. Is that what you gonna tell me next?
I think, hell yeah, you got to give every team a 3-0.
I don't have to do a damn thing but stay black and die. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. I don't feel that way. The fact of the matter is, look, I look at the 49ers. They should have lost that game to Pittsburgh personally with a backup quarterback in Mr. Rudolph. All right? But that ain't what's happening right now. But I give respect where respect is due. I see what the 49ers are doing right now. They beating Tampa. They beating Cincinnati. They beating Pittsburgh. I get it. I understand it. I see what they're doing. 5th-ranked offense. I get it. 4th-ranked rushing attack. Defense is impressive enough. Top 10 defense. Top 10 against the run and the pass. And definitely number 2 in yards allowed. I got to give respect where respect is due. And Jimmy Garoppolo, a.k.a. Jimmy G, a.k.a. porn star Jimmy, is completing 69% of his passes. 5 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Relatively pedestrian, but it is what it is. You complete 69% of your passes. I'm going to give you some respect. I like Breida and Mostert. They're running the football effectively. I give credit where credit is due. And I am a big-time George Kittle fan. I think he can ball, period. But this kid, Deebo Samuel, has been impressive as well. And, of course, they got Marcus Goodwin. So I get it.
Deserves to get his money. But should he be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the land?
Well, let me ask you this question. When Kirk Cousins got $28 million a year and he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks, what did you say?
He didn't deserve it either.
I understand that, but didn't he get what the market allowed? Aren't we different? Aren't we living in a different time? Aren't we living in a time where you look at certain things, certain situations, and we recognize and notice the fact that because of the money that's out there with the increases in the cap, et cetera, that we're just living in a different age. And because we're living in that different age, you got guys that are getting paid.
Oh, yes, I agree. We're living a different age.
All right, so what's the problem?
But, well, just like baseball, they get the $300 million, but they go out there and they fall on their face.
Well, wait a minute. Well, time out. Who fell on their face? Who's the $300 million man? Bryce Harper? Who?
Yeah, one of them was, I think, Bryce Harper.
Right.
Somebody played out there in the Angels, I believe, or something.
No. You talk about Mike Trout, who's being paid over $400 million. And oh, by the way, he's worth every damn penny. Mike Trout is worth every damn penny. Every penny.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's performed very well.
Manny Machado. Hold on. Manny Machado this year, 252, 30 homers, 82 RBIs. That's not worth $300 million plus. I'll give you that. But I think Bryce Harper got over 100 RBIs, got 34, 35 home runs. Hasn't been spectacular, but I think that, he earned his money this year. I'd say that.
Yes, he did. I agree. But my question is, if they don't perform, they get these big multi-million-dollar contracts. If they don't perform after they get them, should the contract be reciprocal?
Well, here's my problem. Hold on, Dale. The reason why you're so wrong in bringing up that question is because of the sport you're talking about. In football, you got guys that sign a contract, and then all of a sudden it's only the signing bonus that's guaranteed. They got a right to come to you to restructure your deal, to cut you, to waive you, etc. Now, if this were basketball or baseball, where pretty much most of your contracts are guaranteed, you'd have a different kind of argument. But in the sport of football, they actually do exactly what you just said. They come to you to try and cut your salary. They come to you to cut your period so you don't count as much against the cap and all of this other stuff. They do that all the time.
Okay, I understand. I'll agree with that. That'd be fine. But I mean, just to go out there, you get them, and get these big contracts, then you fall on your face.
Well, again, then in football, it's not applicable, sir. In football, it's not applicable because football. Listen, even when you do perform, they're asking you to restructure your deal. Do you realize that Tom Brady has never been the highest paid player in football? Did you realize that?
Yeah, I understand that. It was another thing I was thinking about. Why isn't he the highest?
Because he allows the Patriots to sit up there and curb their spending when it comes to him so they could utilize those resources to help put a team around him so they can win because the NFL has a hard cap. I got to go, though, Dale. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Let's go to Derek. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, D?
Well, hello, Stephen A.
How you doing?
Derek, long-time fan, second-time caller.
Go ahead. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
And I'm a diehard Patriot fan, and I'm thinking about Antonio Brown. I listened to what you say about the first take about Antonio Brown. It should be apologizing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My personal opinion, that Antonio Brown should apologize to any team that he was signed to over this year, because like Oakland Raiders about the stupid thing.
Hold on, time. What do you say? You saying Antonio Brown should apologize?
Yes, Antonio Brown should apologize to like the coach,
John Gruden, GM Mike Mayock in Oakland. Yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
And Bill Belichick, all the media headache he's been doing all the years, like that's why that Sunday he went after he released Antonio Brown. The media is like hard getting the Bill Belichick a headache about saying about the question about Antonio Brown.
I got you. I have to interrupt because I got to go, and I appreciate the call. But you're absolutely right. We don't disagree. I get your point, and I appreciate the call. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go to AJ. You're live with Stephen A. Go ahead.
Hey, Stephen A. I just wanted to know why, like, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I mean, everything you talk about, I think you're really funny, but how you hate the Cowboys, it just gets under my skin.
I can't stand Cowboy fans, not the Cowboys.
But exactly why? I think it's because you know how good the Cowboys actually are.
Stop right there. You're going to have the audacity to call up today and say that? Where the hell have you been the last 24 years?
Yeah, exactly.
Answer the question. Where have you been the last 24 years. Because don't tell me you're just getting on me because of what I just said in the last week or in the last month. When you talk about me hating on Cowboy fans, this is stuff that has spanned years. So why is it that I'm hearing from you now?
I've been listening to you for years, and it's just I think you're a legend. But
No. So why did you call up years ago with that? Why did you call up years ago when you stunk and you weren't winning anything and you were a walking piece of mediocrity and going 8? How come you didn't call up then?
Tony Romo has like Hall of Fame numbers. You and me both know. Anyone that's been watching for 24.
Goodbye. I'm not listening. You don't get to do that. You don't get to call up on my show and ignore my questions. You don't get to do that. See how quick you got a dial tone? And I'm happy I did that to you because you're a Cowboy fan. You deserve to hear a dial tone when you get on my damn nerves, which is relatively easy for Cowboy fans to do, just in case you didn't know. Let's go to Cam. You're live with Stephen A. What's up?
Hi, this is Cam. So I'm just want to say the Cowboys, I think they're overrated. Perfectly honest with you.
I'm not going to say that about the Cowboys this year. They're not overrated this year. They're legit this year. That defense is real. Cowboys defense is real. The previous caller and his annoying tendencies notwithstanding, the Dallas Cowboys defense is real. And that means they're not overrated.
I agree with that. I mean, I really don't think they should have paid Ezekiel Elliott all that money if they're not going to pay Dak Prescott.
They are going to pay Dak Prescott. I just think they should have paid Dak Prescott first.
Absolutely. I think the Eagles have a solid chance at winning the NFC East.
They got to win tonight. If they win tonight, if they lose tonight, rather, and the Cowboys win Sunday in New Orleans, you think the Eagles can overcome a 3-game deficit and capture the NFC East?
Absolutely. I don't see why not. They got Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, Carson Wentz, a quarterback, Miles Sanders. They got all the tools.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. Hopefully when we get back, Sal Palantonio will be on the line with us. Has some difficulties catching up with him. I think we successfully pulled that off. Let's hope so anyway. We'll see. Until then, you're listening live to Stephen A., ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, when it comes to hiring, you don't have time to waste. You need to get to your short list of qualified candidates fast. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes, set of screening questions based on your job requirements, then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why more than 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. That's Indeed.com/hire.